Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody. Today is Tuesday the 28th and we have the markets moving higher here today. Let's turn over to the Grain Hedge trading platform and see where we closed off the day. Keep in mind that this trading platform is something that you do have access to. If you trade over here at Grain Hedge, you do get a mobile trading platform as well as a desktop trading platform. Both of them have live quotes, and you can trade futures and options for just $7 commissions per side. Give us a call if you have any interest in that. So let's look at the changes here today. Corn futures trading up 2.5 cents here to $3.86 even on the December contract. Soybeans trading up 12.75 cents to $9.46 even on the November contract, and Chicago wheat here up 9.75 to $5.1225 on the September contract. Now, we did have some interesting news out today. We had some nice sales of sorghum to China by 120,000 metric tons. That was a reportable sale. Reportable sales are anything over 100,000 metric tons. Tunisia State Grain Buyer did issue a tender, 134,000 metric tons of soft milling wheat. That tender will close on Wednesday. Also, news here today, we do have the spring wheat crop tour starting today. Scouts are inspecting North Dakota. That is the top spring wheat producing state in the U.S. And those results will be released. Yield results will be released on Thursday. Currently, the USDA spring wheat is rated very nicely. We saw an increase in the good to excellent ratings in the latest crop report. The USDA is expecting record high North Dakota wheat yield here of 48 bushels per acre. They've had very good growing conditions out there. Now, it has been moist a little bit in parts. There are some concerns about some diseases, but right now it's not a major concern at all for yield prospects when you're looking at it. I mean, you're looking at minor impacts on yield that's expected to be very, very good. So we'll await the forecast for yield expected to be released out on Thursday. Now let's talk a little bit about basis. This is something that's very interesting. This chart here shows that there are basis opportunities even when prices have been declining over the last month. You'll see Claypool, Indiana here, a soybean plant is lifting their basis. That green line is bean basis in Claypool, Indiana. It's up 50 cents this month. So you'll notice here's a situation where we've seen prices declining as much as 80 cents this month, and yet we have basis increasing. Well, when prices decline, U.S. farmers not too eager to get out there and price their soybeans. It's also late in the marketing year, so a lot of the soybeans have already been marketed. So here's a situation where we're later on in the marketing year, and it's very likely that there's not a lot of soybeans in the area. You're in Indiana. It's an area that has been affected. New crop is being affected by the excessive amount of rain, and in general, you're seeing a basis opportunity. The nice thing about Grain Hedge over here, if you are a trading customer, you do get access to our optimizer that allows you to spot these sort of basis opportunities. Claypool isn't the only basis opportunity out there. Could it go higher? Yes. Could it go lower? Yes, I suppose basis could go lower there in that region, but the nice thing is that today it's an opportunity. It's better than it was a week ago, and it's up significantly. So it's important to pay attention to the basis within your region. There may be opportunities, pricing opportunities out there that you may not typically market to. And so it's very important to have some way of doing that. And the nice thing over here at Grain Hedge, we do have a way of monitoring cash basis in your region. We have a way of calculating where your best selling opportunities are every single day, taking into account your own trucking and storage costs. So if you're interested in not only having access to the futures market and being able to hedge and trade futures and options, but also being able to have some actionable cash market intelligence for your marketing plan here this year, these are things that we have for our grain hedge customers. So hopefully you'll give us a call. Our number is 877-472-4607. We can always go through these platforms with you and really show you how you can use them in this next year's marketing plan. Also, guys, I wanted to just talk a little bit about these charts. You'll notice that, and we talked a little about these yesterday, but you'll notice prices really zipped. They just cut right through that 398 price level. That's where the 100-day moving average was on this December corn chart. It was where the 62% retracement was. It was where a trend line support was. Well, we cut right through it. Now it seems as though we found a little bit of traction here today. If we do have any sort of rebound here on Wednesday or Thursday, keep in mind that we could find that area that was likely to be support that really didn't act as it, providing a little bit of resistance here if we're able to rebound. Weather in general is not looking favorable for the bull markets. We're going to have to pay close attention. I know in the 6 to 10 day forecast, looks like there could start to develop a little bit of dryness there in the southern part of the Midwest, but there is no major concerns yet. So it's just, let's pay close attention to the weather models. Any sort of changes, we're going to want to take note. But in general, I think what we're seeing here is a market that has sold off very sharply over the last couple of weeks, and now we may get a little bit of a snapback. We'll have to see if that is the case here tomorrow. You'll notice soybeans, very similar scenario. We got down there, we closed around 946. 100-day moving average is at 955, so really only about 9 cents higher, and you may bump your head on a little bit of resistance there. So just keep that in mind if we do have any sort of a rebound here going forward. Also, I just wanted to show you this Minneapolis wheat chart. You'll notice Minneapolis wheat is really close to those lows on this daily chart. The lows down there around 547 back on May 5th. Right now we're trading around 558. So considering the crop tours going on in North Dakota, considering everything seems to be very favorable in terms of significant yields, very, very high yields out of North Dakota, that could continue to put pressure on prices here, and we're already very close to those lows around 547. So that, guys, wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give the office a call. I think the main point of this show here today is to recognize as a producer, and I know some of you out there already do recognize this, but really to recognize that there's a difference between pricing or locking in price and locking in basis. And oftentimes locking in price versus locking in basis, it's not always optimal to do both at the same time. When you have higher prices, oftentimes that means that you're going to have more farmers selling, taking advantage of those higher prices, and as a result, you'll get depressed basis levels. When you have prices that are declining, there's going to be a lack of interest in producers selling their grain, and as a result, elevators out there that need the physical product are going to lift their basis, put a little bit of a premium on there to draw it out of farmer bins. So really, those relationships between price and basis, if you are a savvy marketer, oftentimes they are locked in at separate times, both trying to find the most optimal time to lock it in. So just keep that in mind. And if you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give the office a call. The number is 877-472-4607. We can kind of discuss these concepts and what it means to your marketing plan and the tools that we have available to help you stay on top of the market conditions and take advantage of opportunities when you spot them. So thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here on Wednesday.